Okay, after a good, nice car wash to wash the desert off of this car, actually to wash all the salt off of the car from our journey out to the salt plants, it's time to go get this car dusty again. We're headed across the desert to San Felipe. Okay, if this is like it was when we first came way back many months ago from Baja California into Baja California Sur, you'll notice that they've got this thing you're going to go over on the left there, and there's a spray coming up from it. Okay, they're not doing it this direction. I'll explain about that in a second. It looks like you don't have to stop. All right, we're in Baja California now. We were in Baja California Sur, the state. Evidently there's some bug from up north that they're trying to kill, and so it doesn't fly into the state anywhere else except right there underneath of your car. I'm kidding you, but that's what, you know, they make you go over a little grate and they spray a little chemical underneath of the car, and there you are. The bugs are killed. Life is good. Now we're in the northern state, Baja California. On this journey, what we're going to be doing is headed up to San Felipe, and that is on the Sea of Cortez. In fact, it's one of the most northern cities in Baja California that is on the Sea of Cortez. If we were to continue north from there as the crow flies, we'd go into up around Mexicali and into, I think it would be Arizona. We'll look on a map and make sure of that. But anyway, we're not going to do that because we're going to head back towards Ensenada after this little trip to see the Sea of Cortez and this little town. Evidently, when motorcycles and Jeeps that belong to the military are of no longer service, they mount them as monuments in the center there. Welcome to the state of Baja California. And if one welcome wasn't enough, they get a second one right up ahead. Okay, on this part of the trip, we're headed up Highway 1, but it's going to branch off. If we were to stay on Highway 1, we got about 100 miles on 1, but if we were to stay on it, it would take us on up on the left side, on the ocean side, the Pacific side, to Ensenada. We're going to branch off, oddly enough, at Lake Chapala. Now, there is a Lake Chapala back on the mainland of Mexico, but this is another one. And there at Lake Chapala, it branches off Highway 5 that takes you to the Sea of Cortez and to the east coast of Baja California. And you see some gringos coming down with their big trailers and their boats and their South Dakota license plates, evidently. Renee just made the point that it's amazing, not that far of a distance really, from the west coast of Baja California to the east coast, just across this strip of land, but the temperature difference is astounding. From the west coast, where the breeze is coming off of the Pacific, it can be 20 to 25 degrees cooler than it would be on the Sea of Cortez side. Sea of Cortez side, you know, right there towards the mainland, it's hot. You know, it'll be, you know, probably in the 70s here on the Guerrero Negro side, on the Pacific side where we're just coming from, but it'll be in the, you know, I would guess in the mid 90s today. We'll find out.
Upper 90s.
Upper 90s. Renee's already checked. In the upper 90s there in San Felipe. Now, this is something that is amazing to me. You see the bicyclist? I don't know where in the heck OP they could be coming from, and I'm guessing they're going to Guerrero Negro, but you know, it's like 100 miles from Guerrero Negro to where 5 and 1 divide. And would you be riding a bicycle? I mean, yeah, it's flat road, and yeah, it's nice, comfortable day. It's about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. But you see that big thing coming down the road? There's no shoulder to get off on when you're riding your bike. No shoulder. And we saw one a few minutes ago where the bicycle was riding along there and the truck was like almost at a stop behind him, and there was no way for him to pass him, and that bicycle wasn't stopping. You know, I would get off of it, take my bike, put it on my shoulder, and climb down that little embankment and get out of the way for a minute, but no. That's the thing about Baja California and Baja California Sur. 1 minute you're in the desert, the next minute you're in the mountains, then you're back in the desert again, then you're at a beautiful bay, or you're at some beautiful playas, some beaches. It's a wild and rugged country out here. Bugs. They didn't mess you up the windshield. That's the good part. They just ramped up off of the car. I think we're at the point now where we're going to leave Highway 1 and take Highway 5 towards San Felipe. Now, I mentioned about Lagoon or Lake Chapala over here. It ain't here. Evidently, it's dried up, and it's just a dry lake bed of sand, and that's about it. Yep, that was the lake bed. You notice the guardrail there, nice big high guardrail, because if you went off there, you'd go down about 3 feet, maybe 4 feet. But we don't put a guardrail if it's a 300 to 500 foot drop off of a mountain down to a ravine below. I don't quite understand the logic there, but it may be like in the USA where some congressman or some delegate or some senator, some lobbyist gets with him and says, hey, you know, you need a wall here in your district, or you need a bridge to nowhere in your district, and millions or billions of dollars is spent on it, and it's a wall blocking a forest from being bothered by the noise of the interstate, or it's a bridge that goes to nowhere. So maybe they have that same kind of, dare I say, corruption, stupid spending. How about that? Now that guardrail, well placed. Good job, guys. I don't want to go off that little ravine. It's not far, but it's 20-foot drop anyway, into the top of some cacti. Evidently, whoever ships the guardrails to Baja California and Baja California Sur, they all ended up here. You see right there? You got a worse drop on the right with no guardrail. But I guess they figure those big rocks they'll catch you from going too far. And if it sounds like I'm a smart mouth today, I'm a little hungry, so maybe that has something to do with that. Man, we're really cutting through a mountain. Stopped at that little place and used the restroom, got some drinks, got a burger and fries cooked on a griddle, and I mean they even toasted the buns, and you're looking about $5.25 for a burger and fries. And I mean this wasn't McDonald's food. This was like you fix it at home. Very, very good. And the little grocery store has everything you could want. And did you see the plane? The folks were in there. They had 3 dogs with them, and evidently they were getting ready to leave in a few minutes. And Renee said, "Hey, I think I heard the plane start up." So I went out there, and I didn't have time to run across the street and get run over to film it for you, but you saw the plane in the distance as it finished off the little runway and took out over the bay. And the 3 dogs riding in the plane too. So pretty cool, eh? I guess it's a military check if they need it. They have the facility here, and looks like they could put a toll up if they wanted to. You're on Highway 5, and as promised, it hugs the coast. riding with us today, joining us on the journey as we traveled on Highway 1 and Highway 5 from Guerrero Negro in Baja California Sur. We came across, got on Highway 5, we're headed north and then northeast, hugging the coast of the Sea of Cortez up to San Felipe. And we'll spend the night here, look around a little bit in our next episode, show you some of the town. Don't forget we have another channel called Take a Breath. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Go over there, check it out, and subscribe. Help us to grow that channel. And speaking of, if you have not subscribed to Gene and Renee Travel Adventures, hit that subscribe button so that you'll know each time a new episode premieres. We appreciate you so very much. Dios te bendiga, mi amigos.